in just 4 days your rent hike bill comes into effect. Your legislation allows landlords to hike up rents to the market rate, and renters will be hit with massive rent increases, the likes of which we've never seen before. We know that corporate landlords and vulture funds are rubbing their hands in glee, popping champagne corks at the thought of the huge profits they stand to make as a direct result of your legislation. They're not even hiding it. It's here in black and white. In a presentation to their investors by Irish Reit, the largest corporate landlord in the country with thousands of properties, this presentation sets out what they can now do as a result of your new rent hike bill. And they've told investors that they will be able to increase new rents by a staggering 25%. They're predicting a 25% potential rental income uplift with minimal added costs. That's a direct quote, Taoiseach. This paints a frightening picture of the size of the rent increases coming down the tracks due to your decisions. The property funds are set for a bonanza. This company is telling their investors that they stand to make an extra €21 million in rents every year once your legislation flows through. And just imagine what that means for renters, faced with a 25% hike in rent. What would this mean for somebody paying the average rent? Well, it means having to find more than €5,000 extra a year. That's just to cover this increase. Taoiseach, do you know any renter able to afford that kind of increase on their already extortionate rent? Because I certainly don't.
Well, first of all those renters in existing tenancies will have their rents increased by 2%, not 25%, 2%. And existing tenancies will not be impacted negatively as a result of the changes. The Housing Commission called for this. The ESRI called for this. They were looking for a 4% cap on rents. That's what they recommended. We said no, we'd go for 2% in relation to that. And this bill will give far more legal protection to renters than they've ever had in the history of the state. That is the bottom line. Yes, we do want to bring investment back into the market because we have not been building enough apartments to date. Supply is the key instrument we have to moderate rents in the medium term. Let's be under no illusion. We need more apartments. We need more housing. We got 36,000 houses last year. We need to get to 50,000 a year. The state is allocating about €9 billion, and the state is the main actor in the market at the moment, through supporting cost rental, through supporting affordable housing, and through the building of public housing. So the state is the main player in house building at the moment. The Department of Finance estimate we need to be spending about €20 billion per annum between public and private sector investment to get to that 50,000 houses that the ESRI say we need. Some say we need even more.
See, this is on you, Taoiseach. There is no balance here, and the biggest landlord in the country could not be clearer. They know that they can hike rents by 25% as a result of your rent hike bill. They know that they will make an extra €21 million in rents each and every year, and that means millions into the pockets of corporate landlords, and it means thousands out of the pockets of renters. Security of tenure, my eye. Those are the hard facts, Taoiseach, and you know that. It's here in black and white. We're talking about here the biggest rip-off of renters in a generation. This sends a shiver down the spine of every renter right across the land. And it is directly because of your decisions, your choices, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Your legislation is causing this to happen. And I've asked you to take responsibility for that. And I've asked you, and I'll ask you again, will you intervene now that the writing's on the wall to stop these massive rent increases?
Could I say a number of things, Deputy? You know, your own party has had a fair degree of engagement with the property industry over the last while. Deputy O'Brien has been very active in meeting with IBEC on behalf of the Property Industry Ireland, with Hine Real Estates Ireland Limited, with the CIF, with Glenveigh Properties, Vulcan Consulting, and so on, and the Property Industry Ireland. And it's interesting, in his meeting with the IBEC on behalf of the property industry, what were the matters discussed? To introduce incentives for investors to catalyse apartment construction, to extend existing permissions, legislate to prevent issues, and so on and so on. Promising, of course, it's like the Davy Stockbrokers meeting a year or two ago. But the core question is this, Deputy. Supply is the key. I'm sure you would agree that supply is the key. Deputy, I didn't interrupt your leader. I just want to make this point to you, Deputy. Supply, I'm going to put it to you. Supply is the key issue. I'm going to finish my point here. Supply is the key issue, Deputy.
Time is up.
It has to be noted.
Deputy Kenny,
it has to be noted, Deputy, that you've objected to 3,000 apartments in the last while, and that's your contribution to renters in this country and to people who need housing. You've objected to 3,000. I respect you totally, but Chair, I would also ask you that you would respect my right to reply. It's not being facilitated.
This is the House. Taoiseach, they didn't listen in the time that was allowed. We have moved on to Deputy Owen Kenny. No, there is no point of order. I am within the point of order. Your time was up. Thank you, Taoiseach.